In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you a practical process that you can apply in your own house for really acting and being the way that you prefer. This is going to show you ways of embodying the emotion and really acting as if in order to attract what you want. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you ways that actors have been able to embody emotions that they are playing a role for. I'm going to be sharing with you how our personality is something that's been patterned into thinking that this is the way I am, and how we can break outside of that mold if we simply give ourselves permission to be and act a different way. Now, the reason this video was inspired is because I was reading articles of actors who were acting at home, or maybe they were like getting ready for a role that they had, and that's something a lot of actors will do, especially really good actors, is even when they're at home, they will act as if that's who they are so that they really get into the character. Now the funny thing is, as people act like this, or as actors act like this, the idea is that they end up embodying the emotions that their character would have. So if they're playing a very happy person, then the idea is they may feel happier. If they're playing a person that gets very angry, they may find themselves embodying those emotions more and more. Now, I think there's a lot of power in understanding this, because when it comes to the way that we're being, the way we carry ourselves, our physiology, that all correlates to the kind of emotions we feel. And that's something that we can track back to something I share a lot with the Amy Cuddy power pose, when you're standing in a Superman or Superwoman pose, and that makes you feel more confident and less cortisol, which is the stress hormone. And the idea is that what we can do is begin to link us up to the way that we prefer to be. Now, we think many times that our personality is set, that this is who I am. Now, I believe that our personality is a pattern that we have continuously, habitually practiced, and we think this is who I am. I'm just a shy person. I'm just a jealous person. I'm just this type of person. But in general, and at the base core of it, I believe that we can let go of certain patterns by making the decision to do so, and then taking action to break outside of that mold. So this is something that I found to be very powerful. It's something that comes from a book called How to Break the Habit of Being Yourself. It's by Dr. Joe Dispenza. I've recommended it many times. It's a very good book. And it explains how 60 to 70,000 thoughts a day that we think on average, that of those, about 90% of them are recycled from the day before. Which means that we're simply recycling the same personality every single day, and we're saying, this is who I am. And remember, our personality creates our personal reality, which means that if we want to change our personal reality, our outer circumstance, we must first change our personality, the habitual thoughts that we have, the way we continuously think, act, and feel. Now, in order for us to do this, an important part of it is the action that we are taking and the way that we are acting in our everyday life. Now, knowing that actors are able to act a certain way at their house when they're preparing for a role and it makes them feel a certain way, what if what we could do is we could act as if, and we could embody the emotions that we prefer, and we could, in a way, try on a new perspective, on a new personality. Now, some people might hear this and think, why would I want to be someone I'm not? The idea is that who we think we are is nothing but a habitualized pattern that we keep on practicing, and we keep on saying, yo, this is who I am. But in general, and at the basis, we can decide that we're going to try on other ideas, and we're going to really stretch outside of the mold that we've created for ourselves. Now, we could do this at small levels. We don't have to just come out and just completely dramatically change our personality. But what I'm saying is, slowly but surely, we can start to embody emotions we want, and we can start to act as if we prefer and how we prefer to be, and that will change the way that we feel about ourselves. Now, what are the practical implications of how we can apply this in our own life? Well, one of the first things that I was reading about in a recent book as well is the power of costumes, in the sense that when we change little things about the way we appear to ourselves, we change our self-image. And as you guys know, I always talk about the self-image. when we change our self-image, everything changes, because our self-image is a projection. It's something that when we walk around, we are projecting our self-image out to other people, and other people are responding based on what that self-image is. Now, what if you were able to change in a way like actors would wear costumes? What if you were able to change what and how you were showing up in the world? What if you started to dress a little bit more professionally, if your intention is to get more into the professional world? You started to dress as if you already had the job that you want. And as you started to look more professional, maybe you started to groom yourself more, you started to change your self-image for the way that you see yourself. And then other people begin to respond to you in a new way because your self-image has changed for yourself. So you see, this could be a very powerful tool, and it's something I've heard people have great results with. What book did I read that in? I think it's this book called Wishcraft, which is an old school book on like different tools and techniques for being able to like make our dreams come true. They're just, I think, powerful techniques for doing so. And in that, the book speaks about that, the idea of acting and trying on costumes, which really just means we try on and we wear things maybe that we normally wouldn't wear, in order for us to start to see ourselves differently. So to be more professional, or to have more of a look at ourselves in a new way, which changes our self-image. Now, when you're at your house, what I encourage you to do is, or maybe when you're also in daily life, is to start to act the way that you prefer to act, to start to carry your body language in the way that you prefer, to start to really give yourself validation and permission to feel and act the way that you want. Now, at first, it might be easier for you to think that you're embodying this different character. Like, pretend that you're an actual actor and your intention is to embody this character. And the character that you want to embody is the best version of yourself that you can imagine. Maybe it's you imagine yourself owning a company, walking around and, facilitating, being a powerful leader and helping other people, succeed as well. So what you do is you imagine that, and you imagine how you would carry yourself. You imagine certain situations you would be in. You imagine the kind of impact and influence and the positive influence you would have on other people. And as you walked around in your house, you are starting to embody those emotions. So whatever it is, just imagine that that is who you are. Give yourself permission to feel the emotions that you would feel, the validation that you'd already feel. Give yourself permission right now in the present moment to do so. And as you begin to do that, you'll find that you start to feel differently about yourself. You'll find that your old personality was nothing but a construct, nothing but a repetitious repertoire of who we think that we are. But in general, and at the core basis, you are who you choose to be in the present moment. And by embodying the emotions that you prefer, embodying the actions that you prefer, you will literally start to link up your personality to a new level of being, and you will start to then embody the core frequency, and I know that's a woo-woo term, but the core vibration, and I know that's also a woo-woo term, but the idea is that there's something I really believe in. I really believe, because of what we know about physics, that everything is vibration, and that if we want to resonate with the reality that we prefer, we must first start to embody those emotions, those actions, the thinking, and as we do those three things, that links up to our personality, how we think, how we act, how we feel. That's what constructs our personality, which then creates our personal reality. So that's something that we can learn to do by linking up those three things. And as we begin to do that with the daily practices that I just shared with you, with changing our self-image by appearing in the role that we want to be in, so maybe looking more professional, seeing ourselves in that way, everything will begin to change. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it, subscribe if you haven't already. Also, hit the little notification gear so that you're able to see the daily videos that I do. Also, I put the top 5 recommended book list inside of the description box below. 2 of those books can be read in literally less than 2 hours. 3 or 4, those books literally changed my life, so I hope that they also are able to have the same effect on you. Feel free to click the link and download them below. So other than that, I'll see you guys on the next vid. Peace, much love, namaste.